Hey guys, what's up? This is EGDemuslimRC, and we're back once again to finish the series between EGDemuslim and EGPuma at the IEM tournament. And I'm gonna let you guys know before we get into this. Look at the timer of the video. I know a lot of you might not do that for spoilers, but for the sake of your day, look at the timer below the video. This replay is over an hour long. I usually never spoil. I think it's silly to spoil, but I think for the sake of my day and yours, we both just need to know this is going to be over an hour together. So if you don't want to watch it, go to the very end, see how it ends. I don't know how it ends at this juncture. I only know it's over an hour. Okay? Currently the replay is running in the background and nothing's happening. The first supply depot has been placed. Okay? So let's jump into this together. And here we are going to introduce our players in the top left-hand corner of the map, Entombed Valley. And it for the long haul, we have the blue Terran player, EGDemuslimRC. And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, his red Terran opponent, because they couldn't stay the same colors, it is EGPumaRC. Okay. And just so you know I'm not lying, okay? Just so you know I'm not lying. There you go. An hour and 2 minutes. Alright. Did you see the barracks, the command center, or the gas firsted command center? The gas firsted come here out of Puma. It's the exact same opening as we saw in game 1. Probably going to see him tech straight up to the Banshees there and go with the Banshees. And we do see a barracks first out of Demuslim here. So Demuslim tried something different since his command center first strategy didn't work out in totality for him last game. And honestly, I think what hurt him the most last game wasn't anything with his opening build. He just lost a lot to those Banshees. He didn't have enough ready. And we did see the scout from Demuslim did get in there and check everything out as Puma's first barracks is going to finish. As soon as this barracks finishes, we're going to see the factory. And there it is. And as soon as this factory finishes, we're going to see a starport. And what do we see here out of Demuslim? I'm going to go for the 1 racks fast expand. Very nice opening build there. For those of you that are just joining us, I encourage you to go check out game 1 between these two players from IEM's tournament. That was not broadcast. This wasn't broadcast by Day 9. Wasn't broadcast by ESL. But ESL was awesome enough to put this up on their website, these replays, so that people could cast them. And that's fantastic. And I'm pretty excited for this game, to be completely honest. I really like longer games. But it's TVT, so I guess you could have assumed that it's going to go longer. And we did see these Marines take a shot at their barracks, because why not? Puma scouting out his opponent still has no idea where he is, unless there's about to be some hidden shenanigans and he's just fooling us. Does he know where his opponent is? No, he actually has no idea. And he's going to get up here and he's going to see, yep, there's nothing. Going to go all the way to the back and there's still nothing. And he's going to go home. Or at least he's going to go over and try to scout out Demuslim now. At this point, probably a little too late given the Marine count. Not going to be able to see much of anything. Gas is now finished here for Demuslim. 3 barracks are up and the command center is finished. And what do we have doing here? Ooh, a little bit of a hidden action on this starport. A lot different than we saw in game 1 here. Yes, in game 1, the tech was kind of pushed to the side and it was all clumped up. But this time the starport is distinctively hidden, actually. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if he lifted up and dropped it over here or over here. I think that'd be really nice. It would really shorten the rush distance. But then again, I'm not too sure what we'll see. We do see the tech lab is finishing up for Demuslim. And actually just a medevac. Just a medevac. So maybe a Hellion drop might come out here for Puma. But for Demuslim, in the meantime, we are just seeing some standard Marine play here. No factories on the way just yet. Not feeling safe enough to take his natural either, with this command center up here just working. Factory just now on the way for Demuslim, so he's a little bit away from that medevac tech. And we do see here an early push out here from Puma is going to get up right up here. Hellions are sitting at the bottom of this ramp, and a group of Marines, 4 of them, and another Hellion are joining. And he's actually just rallying everything across the map. Medevac already there, so he will have the ability to pick up and go inside the main if he so desires. How many Marines do we have here at the top of the ramp? 6 at the top of the ramp with a pretty nice concave, so those Hellions aren't going to be as effective. But here is the medevac, and are we going to see a little bit of engagement? We are. Very nice use of the medevac there to spot the high ground. And these Marines are going to go up to the top here. Going to try to pick off at least a supply depot. Make this attack a certain win. It would supply block Demuslim. No, would not. Sorry. 1 less from a supply block. Nice usage in control of the Marines there by Demuslim. So, Puma is going to be able to do at least a little damage. Wouldn't mind seeing him go home here, actually, because he can't really afford to lose these. He loses one, might lose a second. No, nice splitting there by EGDemuslim. And kind of just poking up, trying to see what's going on there, what kind of damage he can do. More Marines joining the fray here, being rallied constantly across the map. And we do see EGDemuslim and Puma locked at 49 supply, 50 supplied out for Puma with a slight advantage. Excuse me there, I'm sorry. And back here in the base now, we just see Stimpack on the way. Combat Shields is already finished here for EGDemuslim, as well as the starport is about to finish, and the reactor on the factory is about to finish, so that will be a reactored starport here very shortly, and you can actually hear it in the background lifting up and swinging around. Yes, there they are. Going for a soft contain here is Puma. Going to throw down that bunker, make it impossible for EGDemuslim to leave his base with anything less than an army. And we do see Vikings coming over, and actually Puma just going for a big old contain, actually. No fear at all. I can't believe this is actually happening. This just full-on contain. Puma going to head ahead, throw down the scout, and see what's going down. And this actually forces a lot more out of EGDemuslim than you would think. It forces him to keep his entire tech back here. He can't move out. He can't expand. It wouldn't be bad. There's the expansion from Puma. Wouldn't mind to see him throw that down right there. And we do see a drop is coming out of here from EGDemuslim. I'm going to go ahead and go around. I'm going to try to get out of this contain, break it. And I like the Viking positioning over here. Would have liked to see another one. Oh, and there's a Marine actually that was over here that scouted this. Very nicely done. And all of his army from Puma is going to go over here. And he's going to scout out. And is he just going to go home? Looks like he is just going to go home. And like we were talking about, oh, a tank is left there. Like we were talking about, this bunker is going to die and all the Marines in it. But we did have an engagement over here where actually is that medevac going to get picked off? Very low on life it was. But no, it will get out just fine. We do have a serious engagement here at the natural. Looks like Puma is okay. 60 supply to 53. Puma supply dropping, and actually Puma gets decimated. EGDemuslim is going to clean that up just fine. The bunker's not even going to get salvaged in EGDemuslim. Going to take a pretty good lead here early on. Going to go ahead and throw down his command center. The command center just now being thrown down for Puma as well. So EGDemuslim, I'd give the advantage. Let's check the units lost out to see how accurate I am. Yes, lost less resources than his opponent, so EGDemuslim is up a little bit. Ahead in supply by 15 right now. And how is he doing in the worker count? 34 to 20, yes. Or 36 to 36, I'm sorry, they're tied because I can't read. So economically, both players are in the exact same position. Checking out the income tab. Shows Puma with a little bit of an advantage, but as soon as mules are dropped, I assume that will even out a little bit for both players. We have Puma in the defensive position back here inside his natural expansion. We do have EGDemuslim moving out across the map with a pretty formidable force, actually. 77 to 65 is the supply count. 39 to 25 is the army supply count here. And we do see a little bit of a load up. We are going to see a dual dropped harassment, but two Vikings. Oh, two Vikings do back up there. That would have been very nasty if Puma would have picked that off, and we see EGDemuslim swinging around to the bottom here. Keep in mind, this is game 2 of a best of 3 between EG's Puma raid call and EGDemuslim raid call here on the map in Toon Valley. Puma leads the series 1-0. EGDemuslim, this is an elimination game for him. He loses this game, he loses the map. What's going on inside the base here? We do see another command center is working. Engineering bays are just sitting. What is the upgrade on these Marines? 0-0 to 1-0, so EGDemuslim with a little bit of an upgraded advantage at the time being. Tanks are now starting to churn again for EGDemuslim, and he is working on his +1 armor. Tanks are on siege here from EGDemuslim, or from Puma, excuse me, and he's going to get them in a little bit more of a defensive position, cover this ramp in its entirety. And we do see a reverse contain here out of EGDemuslim. This is old style TVT, where both players just kind of sat there, and this is pretty much how the game looks for days. And eventually someone decided, hey, ooh, it was those two Marines, a very bad death. Eventually someone decided, wait, we can drop in against this. And then they realized that that person was the Bonjwa. And ooh, an SCV did get out from Puma. And Puma's going to go ahead and hide an expansion. This map, very good for hiding expansions. This Viking has a chance to scout it out, but no, it is just on patrol. 3 Vikings are going to go out here and just kind of scout against drops, and I like it a lot. Are we going to see the old school Viking flower? excuse me, as I'm yawning for some reason. Like, I've only been awake for like 2 hours and now I'm like yawning. It's noon. I shouldn't be yawning at noon. One Marine is going to come over here and scout out the third. That is going down. But the great thing about this is that Puma can take a third and it not be weird to his opponent. Because this hidden third over here is going to be fantastic for Puma if this game goes long. Which we know. So, we do see the scan going down here from EGDemuslim, seeing what's going on up the ramp here. Puma with another nice small little chunk of army going down here. And such a nice contain here by EGDemuslim, keeping his opponent from taking the real third. But here we go. The Rogs are now finally starting to go down here for both players, actually. Third being taken over here. This third still not yet scouted. I wouldn't be surprised to see this become an orbital and all the mules just get dropped over here. Wouldn't be a bad plan at all. And it looks like EGDemuslim just decides he wants to go home and leave this contain. I can't think of a reason he'd want to do that, to be honest, outside of the reasoning of just, I'm done with the contain. My plan for the contain has succeeded. You're going to go take your third. I'm going to leave you alone. Especially since I guess if the contain is, sorry for that bad camera work, the contain is here, he wants to be able to not get flanked from here. Because EGDemuslim could just, Puma, could just kind of come here and flank EGDemuslim from this side of the map. And that's never where you want to be. This third base will be going down here very shortly, or should I say third? Oh, but a Marine! Very nice scouting from EGDemuslim. I'm going to go ahead and scout out this third base here. And we'll catch up with this EGDemuslim Marine here in about 3 years. And we do see a brother-on-brother war here as Puma's Marine does take out the other. And such nice scouting from EGDemuslim, checking out every single base here. And we do. Oh, is he going to take another one? Yeah, he's just going to lift up and go ahead and take this base here. So no shame at all. But this Marine is going to do a little bit of damage. And actually, no, he's not. He's going to kill an SCV. Wow. And that Marine's certainly worth its weight in gold. There are 3 army left here, and these Marines are actually going to come over here and start working on this command center. EGDemuslim is all over the map with these Marines, and actually he's going to get this command center maybe by the end of the day, but it is still going to fall unless this entire army of Puma decides to come over. And we do see EGDemuslim moving around the map, 184 to 141 supply. Where's the hairdryer? There it is, and it will fall into the abyss. That's sad. I like the hairdryer. 124 supply to 93 supply. With Puma in the significantly, he is down economically, but it looks like Puma just wants to march right back up here. Is he going to walk into this cannon fire? Cannon fire. These are tanks, Jordan. Cannons are a Protoss unit. And very nice position in here from both players, actually. Sensor tower is up here for Puma, so he will not be caught off guard by any kind of thing, for any kind of drop from the other side. And this is exactly what we were talking about. Going to swing over here to this side of the map. Going to maybe try to catch the army of EGDemuslim in a little bit of a flank action. But EGDemuslim's pretty clumped up. There's not much of a flank to his army. As we do see here that the tanks are moving out to the left-hand side. The Marines are moving out to the right-hand side. And that Marine was on fire. Go back and watch this game. Again, rewind this video. Watch the ad at the beginning, wink, wink. And that Marine was on fire. What? And we do see a little gaggle of Marines here coming out for a counterattack, if there can be such a thing with Marines. And they're going to work their way all the way up around. A good try to take out this fourth base. Excuse my talking and yawning. It's 12:15 now, Jordan. Stop it. Marines are going to go up here and try to get the watchtower. Will they get the watchtower before the Marines are out? No, the Marines were not in the watchtower zone. So actually, EGDemuslim has no idea about this massive counterattack, and Puma has been so effective at killing workers and killing bases in this match that I'm not surprised that this is going to be effective right here. And as soon as the workers transfer, oh no, all of these workers could fall here. There's a huge army over here from EGDemuslim too that's going to fall. 2 tanks and a handful of Marines and medevacs are going to fall as well. Not very good for EGDemuslim at all. Going to lose all of these workers over here, and what is this going to force out of EGDemuslim? Is he going to lose this base? No, he probably will not. These Marines will certainly clean it up in time. Won't even get to half health. Might get into the red. No, there is a big drop of mules, so that's a lot of mules because Terrence Emba, and that's why. But this contain here, not any better. And oh, looks like we are going to have a little bit of an engagement here. I don't know why that happened, everybody. And we are going to see a bit of an engagement here out of this player. Nice position here by Puma. Eating an initial tank blast, yes, but still demolishing a lot of Puma's forces. 192 to 200 supply. And sorry about the weird camera work in this game. That hotkey just didn't work right there. I don't know why. But the tank's re-sieging up here, and both players have been saving their scans. Scans are going down a lot, and here we go. Nice positioning here by Puma's raid call. And that's not what we want either. So hotkeys aren't working now. That's fantastic, but a little drop action did try to go down here from EGDemuslim, but he's going to decide it's for the best to turn around. And Puma is still keeping, EGDemuslim, excuse me, is still trying to keep this positioning here. Don't know if I agree with it. The scans are going to pot shot a couple of Marines every once and again, but we do have a big swing around here from Puma. Sorry for that massive yawn in the middle of an important part of the story. The army from Puma is going to swing around. We do have 200 supply for both players here. And EGDemuslim is going to come in here and try to catch these tanks off guard, but they're not going to be able to. Such a Marine advantage for Puma. Puma going to dance all the way up here, but big Marine shot here for EGDemuslim. And this is classic TVT, folks. Lots of tanks, lots of Marines, and it's all a big chess battle. What are we going to see here? This Puma going to give, or EGDemuslim, excuse me, going to give up the position as we see another big counterattack here from EGDemuslim, or from Puma against EGDemuslim, excuse me. The tank is going to go down once again. Lots of SCVs are going to go down once again, and look at this. This will get cleaned up, but not before the damage was done. How many workers have been killed? 15 workers have been killed by Puma in this game. What's the worker count look like? 65 to 52. Puma setting himself up nicely for a long economic game. +3 for the Terran vehicle weapons is on the way for EGDemuslim. +3 infantry is on the way for Puma. What is the infantry upgrades at? 2-2 right now against 3-3. So EGDemuslim actually with an upgrade advantage big time. And that's what's going to give him a big hand. These tanks are 0-1 here for Puma and 2-0 for our Puma, or for our EGDemuslim player. Our foreign hope against our Korean dream here. Marines are going to... No, that was a pretty quick death. That's pretty nasty. Sorry, buddy. As we do see EGDemuslim going to move out here way across the map with his 193 supply army against the 196 of Puma. Going to get into another position here. Very offensive, actually, right outside the base. I like this position a lot. Going to come down here. Going to stem most of his army, actually. I'm going to come down here and try to do a lot of damage. The tanks are going to siege. Will Puma get off any shots? He does get shots off at the very end of the army here. Nothing really too bad. We do see that Puma over here once again for another counterattack. Very nice scan there. Going to take out probably all these with the help of the medevac, but the upgrades actually are going to prevail here for EGDemuslim. So we're going to take out every single one of these Marines and probably this medevac. Yes, because the medevac decided to run over top of the Marines, and that's never what you want to do. I hope you didn't hear my phone ring in the background. That would have been embarrassing. You ever have like an embarrassing ringtone and you just never want it to happen when people are around, but you like really like that song? Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. And we do see here EGDemuslim is going to go ahead, and a big engagement actually is going to happen here inside the middle of the map. EGDemuslim with a big upgrade advantage is going to crush most of the army there of EGDemuslim. 198 supply to 193, and he's going to retreat the weakened army here. EGDemuslim, is he going to push in? Part of those tanks are in siege. Now would be the time to go if he's going to go. But oh, big siege tank blast on the edge of that creep there, or on the edge of the creep. You can tell I play Zurich. On the edge of that siege tank radius there, not where you want to be at all. This base is now going to be under siege here for Puma. Puma going to have to act quickly and decisively. 200, 200. EGDemuslim is starting to go up to the Hunter Seeker Missile Raven Tech here, as we do see just factories and starports being placed out all over the map. And very nice siege tank positioning is going to be going up here by EGDemuslim. This is clearly a chess match here between two great Terran players. 200 supplies for both players, and we do see a little bit of a drop action going to happen here by Puma anytime you are. But True Vikings do scout it out. Oh, very nicely done. One medevac full of Marines is going to die. And this other medevac here, will it die? No, it will not. And this drop is still going to be worth something here potentially. Nice scan there. That base did get destroyed. There is the hairdryer to prove it, folks. And a lot of Marines are going to come in here and going to start working on these SCVs and continue to work on this command center. This command center never had a chance. Viking is going to die. Very nicely done there. After no medevacs did go down. Will this command center die? No. It will get cleaned up. And the big dropping of the mules will clean that command center up. Help it heal. Puma is going to go ahead and take the middle of the map. Wouldn't be the best for DeMuslin to walk his army into that. That would hurt pretty bad. And, oh, he's going to. Oh, no. DeMuslin, get those off move command, my friend. Very sloppy play there by DeMuslin for a second, and that's what happens. Big engagement here in the middle of the map, and we do see DeMuslin getting cleaned off the planet. What a one mistake can do to you in a TVT. Supply count's still relatively even. Keep in mind, we do see a drop from DeMuslin here. Behind the line, actually going to clean up a lot of workers and just going to pick up and move in here to the third base. Look at how many bases have been taken against Terrans. And oh, this drop is going to get picked off here. One worker will fall and it will die, or one Marine, excuse me, will fall and it will die very quickly. An imaginary siege tech line being held up here, but it looks like DeMuslin is going to come up here and clean up the rest of this army. Not as cost effectively as he could have. He could have spread his units a little more, but they will eventually clean up. These Marines are at 3-3 for DeMuslin. The siege tanks are at 3-0. And what is everything at here? 2-0 for Puma's tanks and 3-3 here for Puma's Marines. So the upgrade advantage slightly in DeMuslim's favor. That scouting Viking, or that patrolling Viking, excuse me, is going to die here. Puma swinging around for the counterattack. DeMuslim knows that this is coming, but he doesn't have it in him to hold off here. Siege tanks will do a little bit, but we're going to engage in a choke where those tanks are going to be very strong here. And Puma going to walk a lot of the shots being taken here. Not the most cost-efficient use here. Nice siege tank positioning up there, but as you can see, it was blown away. All these orbital commands are dying. We are going to see the sacking of the workers here. An ancient Terran rite known as the sacking of the workers. We do see just another army of Puma ready to replace the one that did swing around. This is clearly a TVT macro game, folks, as we are about to breach to the 30-minute mark. As Puma is going to swing around here, the bottom side of the map. Just keep in mind, this little siege tech line here is still being held up. And Puma has to know about it because he built his command center all the way over here. So I'm surprised he's not actually going to clean this out. Two siege tanks are preventing maximum efficiency from this base, and that kind of sucks. And these workers are actually all going to die, like right now. Oh no, they're just, okay, one is going to die, and one's going to get severely hurt, and actually now they're all going to die. There we go, very nicely done there by DeMuslin. But at this point in the game, workers can die, and we actually do see another engagement over here. Very nicely done. Oh, tanks caught on siege. Will Puma clean it up? Yes, he will. DeMuslin getting embarrassed here at this fourth base here. Lots of tanks left here. Not so many Marines left, but lots of tanks left here for Puma. They are not as upgraded as the Muslims units, but this positioning and the sheer number going to be in favor here of Puma. To 193 supply to 184 supply of DeMuslin. Both players macroing very well. Both players very low on money at this point in the game. I would be so high on money. I'd have like 6,000 minerals. Not 6,000. I'm not that bad, right? Like 1,000 minerals. And I'd just be like, barracks, 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 or in my case, hatcheries, 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 hatcheries. Zerglings. And you hear the drop-up animation is going down here for Puma. Going to come up here, and what's he going to try to unload on? Going to try to maybe just do a little bit of a death drop on top of these and a little bit of engagement here. These Marines are going to clean up a lot of tanks, actually. Nice positioning there. They all will get cleaned up, but I feel like they were cost efficient. Puma dropping on top of these tanks, killing 4 tanks that way, too. And 2 tanks are going to be up here. And will this... Oh, 2 tanks are going to get picked off here because these Marines should beat them with the help of these medevacs. No, one will not even die. Shows what I know. 2 medevacs scouting out here. Would like to see the Marines from DeMuslin just go clean that up because why not? A little bit of engagement down here. Going to clean up a lot of this Puma. Very nice death day drop there. Going to weaken up a lot of those tanks, as you can see. Lots of them in the yellow and in the red here. Puma moving up here into the natural expansion of this top right-hand base. The one where he originally tried to take a base, as you can see by the refinery that is sitting there. I'm going to get into a pretty good tank position. I always wonder if the players know about these until their opponent does them. He's like, oh yeah, all these mules, all those fresh mules dying. Oh no, those were just dropped by EG's DeMuslin. And that is never what you want to see. What does the income tab look like? Puma hurting for income a little bit, but ahead in workers right now. Just needs to secure these bases, really. This base, still pretty good on minerals. This base, mined out, mined out. How does that work? How's that mined out? Mules, I guess, yeah. Mined out here, and mined out, of course, in his main. So he's really only operating off of one base here. And all of these SCVs are just now getting to transfer over And we're going to clean up some more supply here. So DeMuslim being effective with these Marines, they eventually will get cleaned up probably, but that's okay. DeMuslim, in the meantime, is swinging up into position here right outside this new base. DeMuslim realizes that this base cannot go up. He does not want this base to go up at all, especially since he cannot get his own up. Checking out the mining situation here. This base mining out very quickly here for DeMuslim. This base mining out. Still some minerals there, but mining out. This base mined out. And his main, of course, mined out here. So both players in a very low economic situation, even though they both have a ton of workers, am I right? And Puma just going to go ahead and says, I'm going to secure this base because this is what I need to secure. Has a couple units positioned outside of the second and the third base here, just to hold off any kind of crazy aggression that would come out here. Nice little army of Puma. I like how both of these players don't have their armies in one big clump. Very indicative of high-level play here. DeMuslim taking one of the middle expansions, and this is not scouted out by these towers. As you can see here, the line 4, the watchtowers are scouted out, and does stop just short. The sensor towers is what they're technically called, not watchtowers, but they are scouted out just before this. So as long as these tanks don't walk into this, which is actually impossible, this base will go unscouted for a little bit. As we can see right here, there is nothing seen here by EGPuma's raid call here. And I like how both of these players are watching the game in green and red, as opposed to blue and red. But really not anything too crazy interesting happening, to be completely honest. Both players in that split map place right now where some bases are accessible, others are not. Puma going to go ahead and throw down some hidden command centers just so, I mean, not hidden, I shouldn't say hidden, but they're in the path less traveled. That way they don't get killed and you can use them as mule farms. Mule farms. Yeah, mule farms. Planetary fortress here as well as the orbital command, so this base is safe as safe can be. And this base here from Puma, actually, ooh, base should be scouted effectively by Puma. You should know, okay, there's a base there. But taking a lot of pot shots there, DeMuslim with a little bit of a supply lead, but that's not actually going to matter. Puma will catch up here very shortly. DeMuslim holding off a very nice middle of the ground here. Reminds me of that very old map, Zelnaga Caverns, I think was the very first map in Ladder, where you could, like TVT, you could have a tank line from here all the way across the map. Like all the way across the map, and it didn't matter. Your opponent just couldn't get across it. If you held the towers on that map, you held both the golds, and TVT was stupid on that map. But we do see Marines just coming out and going to clean up these little Marines that have been pesky, and we feel very nice here for Puma. And we do see Puma actually going to transition into battle cruisers, going to start getting the ship level weapons upgrades. And I wouldn't be surprised if we just went back into his base and saw tons of starports. There's 2 right there. And battle cruisers is late game TVT, folks. Once you see battle cruisers, you know this is it. We're seeing battle cruisers. Fusion core is down as well for DeMuslim, so he is going battle cruisers. And that's when you know the game is going to last a while. Starport's going down here to make a wall for DeMuslim. And as soon as that fusion core finishes, wouldn't be surprised to see the weapon raft and the behemoth reactor. Behemoth reactor is on the way now for EG's Puma, and this base is being retaken by DeMuslim. 2 battle cruisers are on the way at a time here. This little Viking doing a little bit of scouting here, just getting his scout on, and it looks like we see that DeMuslim is going to go ahead and take his own base, or excuse me, Puma is going to go ahead and try to take this base. I actually have no idea whose command center that is, but we'll find out in a minute. And actually, okay, there it is. It's DeMuslim. He's going to go ahead and try to take this. And that base will be fairly secure. So actually, if that base can get secure, he's going to be in a pretty good position here. Looking at the income for Puma is hurting a lot. He's got a lot of workers, but they're not doing anything for him. This base effectively mined out. And this base getting there because he has all of his workers sitting there. 700 and some minerals. Going to go ahead and he's actually going to just make this his farm up here. And wow, he's actually going to be just fine as soon as all of these get established. Turret rings for days. And if these bases get up, he's going to be done, baby boy. Okay, Puma, we need to talk about what's fair. Look at 9 mules have just been dropped. And let's check out what that does to the income here. It's 860 to 2,200 minerals a minute. So you can get out of here, DeMuslim. Because I have 2,200 income per minute. This siege tank line still being held by EGDemuslim, going to make it very impossible for Puma to traverse the middle of the map. And that's a very good, strong position for him to hold. EGDemuslim did get this base as well. So actually, if it comes down to it, where this game goes much longer and the base is split map, EGDemuslim's going to have the mineral advantage because he's simply going to have mined more minerals. Puma is going to eventually get his hidden base that he has been wanting the entire game, and this is a very fortified position here. And it looks like, what are we going to see here? EGDemuslim going to go ahead and just try to scout around, see what's doing. Sees, oh, there was a missile turret. That means you're up to some kind of shenanigans. And wouldn't be surprised if he knew all about the farm that is up here. He has no idea, actually, about the mule farm or this base either. And Puma going to come up here, and his drop not too successful. Marines, not the best case scenario. We do see that EGDemuslim now knows about this base here, and he will have to go either take those tanks out so that he can expand to this base, or he's going to have to take them out just so he can expand in general, because these bases are all off limits with that tank line there. And this is the good old-fashioned stalemate TVT that we saw in very early TVT, very early beta, very early completed version. Season 1 kind of style. And here comes the ancient ritual of the sacking of the SCVs has begun. And look at this map. I mean, all these, it's like the Olympics, but better. Will this drop get picked off here? One does get picked off. They're very nicely done there by EGDemuslim to pick off a drop on the center of the map here. 2 medevacs are loaded up, and we'll have to keep our eyes on those. 2 battle cruisers are starting to make their way in here and going to start going to town. But will these Marines actually pick these up? Marines pretty effective against battle cruisers when they're completely upgraded. And yes, indeed, these 2 battle cruisers not doing much of anything, killing a couple of Marines. Not the best usage of those at all here from EG's Puma. And we are going to see a little bit of engagement. This ancient sacking of the SCVs has begun for EGDemuslim as well. So both players are completely invested in the right, as is tradition. I don't care if you don't like South Park. Go watch the episode where they capture the Canadian prince and princess, because it's the funniest thing ever. I mean, like, Canada jokes are funny. So as is tradition. That's, you guys all know. You're all nerds, you know. But here we go. We have the engagement coming in here from both players. A big concave here from EGDemuslim, but the tanks isn't going to matter. This position being held by EGDemuslim. EGDemuslim crushes through. 187s apply to 152, and the positioning there from EG's EGDemuslim was what held it. We had talked about early TVT where eventually one player just kind of gets pissed and goes for it, and that's exactly what happened there. Puma says, I have to break that line or I might lose the game, and he just walked right through it because he had to do it. So very nicely done there by Puma, or very nicely done by EGDemuslim, excuse me, to hold the line from Puma. And what do we have here? These battle cruisers are starting to make their way across the map. Here are lots of missile turrets actually, and that's not where he wants to be engaging with those. Oh, the center tower, yes, it is going to go down. But this is going to severely weaken up this battle cruiser here. Lots of battle cruisers out. How many battle cruisers do we have for EGDemuslim? 0, but we do have 8 Ravens are out. And actually, all these battle cruisers getting kind of hit up a little bit. Not the best control there. Not sure it was worth a tank and a turret. And ooh, the Raven Hunter Sequel missiles are going to go down and explode over all the tanks. Remember, those aren't very good against tanks. I know he was going for the Marines there. And this base is under siege here. It's a pretty lowly mined out here, and it's going to actually kill a lot of those Vikings. No, actually, only going to kill 1 because they weren't clumped up. Mech and very strong against the Raven Hunter Sequel missiles. 8 Ravens are out for EGDemuslim. He has been keeping this very well hidden. And these battle crews are starting to clean up a little bit of shop here. And we do see the Yamato cannon is going down here over all of the Ravens. And is going to clean up 2 of them most certainly here. And Hunter Sequel missiles did go down and is going to clean up all of the Vikings there except for 1 little lucky guy. That battle cruiser doesn't stand a chance against fully upgraded battle cruisers. Very nice control there. It's not every day that you see upgraded battle cruisers microing, but hey, he's EG's EGDemuslim, the best Brit, okay? You see EGDemuslim going to clean up another tank as well here. And the Muslim still in the lead, I would say so here. The worker count doesn't really matter at this point for the sake of discussion, 23 to 34. The Muslim hanging on to some of them because he is mining off of 2 bases here, as you can see over here. Not actually really mining from this base, but he is mining from this one a little bit here. Completely mined out of this base up here, except for 100 minerals or so up at that base. And these 2 bases, and Puma now knows that this base has been up and running. And that's never a good sight when you know your opponent's had a base for a really long time. And the Muslim is just scouting out around with these Marines. Wouldn't mind to see him go up here and try to take out this tank line so that he can secure this base and this base. Both players with a lot of money in the bank, so I assume as soon as these tanks get cleaned out, we'll see the Muslim go ahead and just take 3 bases. And that would put him in a pretty good position economically here. These tanks are being cleaned up very nicely here. Actually, this command center falling so fast. And those battle cruisers very strong here. More battle cruisers are coming out. 3-3 is going to be done on these battle cruisers here very shortly. And at that point, it's just going to be G to the G. I don't actually know if that's true or not. But oh wow! Look, in response, 12 Vikings are on the way for Puma as well. So Puma is going to have a severe air advantage here. And look at this. We're going to have these Marines going to have to come up and do a lot of damage to the. Oh, Yamato cannons did go down and do a lot of damage, but the Marines from the low ground cleaning up a lot here. The Muslim supply is falling, however, 153 to 190 in favor of Puma, and Puma's ground forces do come in and clean it up. And wow, look at that. Puma will force the Muslim back to Muslim 172 supply to 199. This base is falling. This base is next probably here. I feel like this is the Death Star here coming in, and all these starports are going to fall. The Muslim kind of just trying to rally in units. Thors are even in this mix to deal with the Ravens and the Vikings. And oh my gosh, and here comes all the Thors are dying. Thor is not very good against battle cruisers, bro. Tanks for the Muslim are swinging in here, and this is just pure mayhem. This should have been the Wings of Liberty final boss, I'm not going to lie. 166 supply. Puma is holding strong, but the Muslim is macroing still well behind this. Got a lot of money in the bank, while Puma's money has effectively run out. This base is not mining. This base not mining. There is a chase going down here. Can Puma continue the aggression? The Muslim with the supply lead. 300 minerals in the bank. Look what all that money in the bank did for him there. This tank line didn't even get cleaned up. Oh no, because it all had to be pulled back to deal with the aggression from Puma. Puma has turned this game around here. Such outstanding Terran play here out of the Korean Terran player. The Muslim, the Brit, trying to hold it down, trying to keep some foreign hope alive. Keep in mind, this is Game 2 in the IEM tournament in the month of August 2012. Puma up 1-0. If the Muslim loses this, he is done, baby boy. He doesn't want to be done. Puma in a very strong position, 190 supply to 178 of Puma. We have approached the 52-minute mark, folks. Oh my gosh, these Marines are going to go ahead and take out these rocks right here. These tanks are going to get cleaned up a little bit, cleaning up a little bit of life there, but there are enough Marines here to come up and clean up this tank line, I would think. Nice little huge Viking flyers. We see 8, 16, 24, 25 Vikings here, and lots of Vikings here for Puma. Going to completely control the air. And this is one of those points the Muslim has to be thinking, okay, he controls the air, he controls the ground. What do I control? How can I beat him where I can beat him? And to be honest, Puma's in a pretty good position here. The Muslim is going to go ahead and try to clean this up. As we see, the Muslim starting to go to work on this base up here. He didn't clean up the 2 tanks there. So these bases are going to be grabbed by the Terran. And all these mules are actually going to die. No, they actually all just plot. They all did pop beforehand. Will this base die? It is severely hurt here. We don't want to see the hairdryer. That'd be bad for the Muslim. Let's see if we can see the hairdryer here. It's a bad angle. Oh my gosh, that was a disgusting angle, Jordan. We did see a little bit of counter aggression here from Puma. Going to come in and clean up a lot of infrastructure, but nothing really too much over here. And he's going to clean up a lot of this, but does it really worthy? He cleaned up a couple of barracks. That's not really what Puma's worried about at this point in the game. Nice engagement point there the Muslim had, but still not really going to matter. The Muslim 168 supply to 200. Just for the lulz, let's check out the units lost tab. 54,000 resources have been lost for Puma. 47,000 have been lost for the Muslim. That doesn't mean anything at this stage of the game, really. But still, like, the fact that that much money has been lost in this game is crazy. And I know you just heard my phone beep because it's plugged in and it's got a really bad charger on it. but it's still charging, so that's good news, bro. We do see that Puma is running in here. He's going to clean up this tank line very effectively. This battle cruiser going to shoot off its Yamato cannon, going to knock that battle cruiser way down. But when you have 25 Vikings, it doesn't matter how much of anything you have. All these Marines are going to cause these battle cruisers to back up. Very nice little back and forth here battle here. And the siege tanks, they're in the back from Puma, are going to clean up these Marines. So EGDemuslim in a very dire spot. 55-minute mark, folks. We are almost there. We have to be. We have to be. It's TVT. I mean, Puma is starting to march 140 to 200 supply. EGDemuslim shouldn't count him out, however. We do see a lot of bases coming up here for EGDemuslim. His income has to be in a pretty good position. It is 1,500 minerals a minute, with only 280 minerals a minute of that of the Red Terran player. These bases both still fairly untaken here. But Puma, if this base gets split map, Puma will be at a disadvantage mineral-wise because the EGDemuslim mined from these bases for so long. He almost mined this one out. As you can see, there's only 700 or so minerals left at each base here. This base is effectively mined out when it comes to Puma's concerned. So if he ever does take that base here, it will not be the same, and he will be behind in minerals. Puma with a lot of money in the bank. EGDemuslim trying to spend money to just max out again. Needs to get his money back. 3 Ravens on the way at a time here. And EGDemuslim scattered all over the map. Probably just thinking, how do I win? How do I win? And very nice repair actually going down on that turret. Going to save that and will force this battle cruiser to die here. This battle cruiser is going to try to do a little bit of damage. And the Yamato cannon 1 to death. That's cool, bro. And this turret will clean that up as well. So turrets don't really kill battle cruisers, but there they do. We do see a big battle cruiser army is coming in the middle of the map. The Vikings aren't there. And that will force EGDemuslim to give up his line. And I know for a fact I'm getting a snack after this game because I am super hungry, regardless of who wins, because we're going to have to wait on the next video for at least an hour because I'm getting a snack. We do see here that Puma is holding down this line. The sacking of the SCVs, the ritual will begin. No, they're actually just out there to repair. I like that. It's better than sacking here. I like it a lot. But if they all die, it doesn't really matter. They are going to try to repair each other in the midst of being bombarded. But lots of Vikings here, and the Muslims Marines are not going to be able to clean up that many Vikings before the tanks get in superior position here. And EGDemuslim being forced back into his own little corner of the world. Still dropping mules when he can. SCVs over here still mining. This base almost mined out. But EGDemuslim can effectively hold on and mine out and force mine out Puma. Just keep making cost-efficient trades. That's all EGDemuslim has to do here. But that might be impossible with the way Puma is playing, continuing to push him back. Marines from EGDemuslim over here are scouted out, and wouldn't be surprised to see him just go ahead and try to take that. How many Marines are on the field here for EGDemuslim? We do see a little bit of a counter drop aggression. 2 Marines doing a little bit of damage. Or 3 Marines on the field for Puma, not really many at all. 78 for EGDemuslim. So EGDemuslim, part of the fact that he's having a hard time is that a lot of this army isn't late game army. Marines not the best at the late game. Will this Hunter Seagull missile go off? Oh no, he tried to pull away the wrong Viking. When's it going to explode? Oh, it gets 2 Vikings. Not bad, especially against, you know, that Hunter Seagull missiles. Not the best against mech anyway. But he's going to have some serious Hunter Seeker missile landage here to make this effective here for himself. 197 supply to 187 plus to EGDemuslim does have the lead, but Puma has a bank of 2.7k minerals. That's very difficult for any player to come back from. We do see here that EGDemuslim completely unsieged, not wanting to get caught by these battle cruisers at any moment. We did just surpass the 1 hour mark, folks, here. And let's look at the income. Maxed armies for both players. EGDemuslim with a superior income here. We are going to come down to the final engagement. Yamato cannons did go off onto that Thor. And EGDemuslim going to go ahead and come in here and do a little bit of a counter aggression. Going to cut down any kind of income that Puma had. Certainly heading that gas income at this point in the game is going to hurt. But I guess not when you have 4.5k minerals. But here are the battle cruisers marching in. And look at this. The Marines are going to go to town on this mule farm. But is it really going to be enough Puma with so much sitting out here outside of the Terran player's base? And is it really going to matter here? Command centers are going to just die for days here. Any kind of income that is going to happen is not going to happen anymore for Puma. So EGDemuslim has to hold this, but can he hold this? Can he really hold this? Thor is not good against battle cruisers. I don't think this is going to work out in his favor. Hunter Seeker missiles are going to go off, but they're only going to explode over 1, and that's not even going to be that effective here. And while Puma is going to get this base is destroyed, EGDemuslim's not going to do enough damage here, in my opinion, to make up for it. Certainly not. These bases are all mined out. This is the last remaining mining bases here. So this is it in terms of Puma's mineral mining, but he doesn't need it. 2.3k in the bank. EGDemuslim, I don't think he's going to need it. Look at this position here. EGDemuslim all the way back now inside of his natural and his third here. Not in a good position at all. And Puma could remax a few more times. All these battle cruisers will get cleaned up here from EGDemuslim, but Puma just in such good position. You're going to clean up all the factories here for EGDemuslim. All the infrastructure is now under fire, and if you want to beat a Terran player, you destroy his infrastructure here. EGDemuslim's still mining. I mean, you can't hate him for still mining, still giving it a shot, still seeing where can I go. You never want to lose in an hour and 2-minute long game here, but this looks like it could be it here. Supplies plummeting at 68 supply, and EGDemuslim GG's and leaves the game. That was a game, folks. If you want to know how I look when I cast really long games, I'm either here, okay, like doing my thing, like, oh, look at this, man, casting some games and stuff, bro. Or I'm like here, and when I get excited, I have good posture. But during that game, most of the game, I'm like here. Because it was fairly interesting for most of the time, right? It wasn't boring at any point. Excuse me, sounded a little bit nasally there, don't I? It wasn't boring at any point, but it was just TVT. It was good classic TVT, some great strategic positioning there by EGDemuslim and by Puma. I mean, the very beginning of the game, keep in mind, this was the same game where they set up the early game contains. I know, right? And I know you just heard my phone again, and it's driving me nuts. But, yeah, so very early game good positioning that really transitioned to late game positioning. I honestly thought EGDemuslim had it when Puma just like, kind of move commanded his army into the center of the map there. Maybe he was trying to free up supply, but I think that was still pretty early to the point where he wasn't transitioning fully into Battle Cruiser Viking yet. So, great game. It'll take like 3 years to upload, so you're watching this 3 years in advance because my upload rate at home is terrible. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter at I'mJerman. Follow my YouTube channel, I'mJerman040991. Just hit subscribe, please. It really helps me out. Watch some videos. Watch them all. Just watch some Starcraft. Check out reddit.com/r/cash. Check out IEM this weekend. Thanks to them for putting the replays on their site for people to watch, cast, play, whatever. I'm going to rent I'mJerman.tv. I think I'm going to do it. Be on the lookout. It's just going to link to my YouTube page. Like, it's not going to be anything special, but that way I can, instead of telling people youtube.com/I'mJerman040991, hey, yeah, go to I'mJerman.tv. That's a lot easier. I mean, I'll have to tell them how to spell I'mJerman, but yeah. All right, that's it. That's all we're gonna do. I'm not gonna drag this on. Have a good day. Go play some Magic the Gathering tonight. Yeah. All right. Good luck. Have fun, guys.